So I finally got around to checking out Black Phone 2. Unfortunately, I had to miss my early press screening for this film earlier in the week due to my day job, so if you'd like to support me so that I don't have to do that anymore, click that follow or subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. But I was really excited to check this film out. When the first Black Phone film came out, I really enjoyed it. I didn't think it was as great as some people were saying because I think there were some redundancies and a couple of conveniences in the narrative, but I thought the Grabber was a great new horror character. I think that Ethan Hawke was great in that role, and I think actors like Mason Thames and Madeline McGraw showcased incredible range for incredibly young actors. And so now here they are as a young man and a young woman playing older versions of these characters. They bring that maturity, they bring that nuance to these characters as they're dealing with the trauma of the events of the first film and going off on a new adventure as the Grabber has come back in a spiritual form, and they have to try to find a way to stop him and uncover a new mystery to the overall film. I won't say much more. I have a full review over on my YouTube channel if you guys are interested, but what I will say quickly here is that I think Black Phone 2 is a great follow-up to the original film, expanding on all the lore and all the character development that made the first film solid, expanding on the characters in general across the board. And I think that this film made the Grabber, for me, a flat-out modern-day bona fide horror icon. In the first film, I think he was a cool new horror character. It was great to see him appear at things like Halloween Horror Nights over the course of the last few years. But to now see this second film, I think that the first and second film really cement him as a really cool modern-day horror icon and character in a world where we don't have an abundance of new horror icons being created outside of something like Art the Clown. I think that it's nice to have a character like the Grabber who stands out, and Ethan Hawke is great in this role. Once again, he's creepy, he's eerie, and they add an element here now that he's dead that's made him a little bit more sinister, so I really enjoyed that. I also really appreciated that this film moved into a new location. A lot of times with horror sequels, they'll kind of feel samey over the course of time because they tend to stay in similar locations to kind of give you a remix of what's come before. But I appreciate that with the first one taking place mainly in a basement and in a small neighborhood, this film takes it up into the mountains. It's snowy. It's completely different scenery. And while there are similarities in terms of the idea of having young kids who have been killed, and you have this Grabber at the center of it all, and you have this brother and sister duo who have their own supernatural abilities that are tied to these kids that have passed away, I think that this film does enough to really differentiate itself from the first film while expanding on that story, exploring the characters deeper, and also having an emotional core at the center of it. A lot of times these slashers will kind of just be more hacking and slashing than actual story, and I appreciated that this film had a nice blend of both.